Hey, this is Warren Redlick. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to talk about Optimus's brain, whether Optimus's brain, Optimus over here, whether Optimus's brain will be from Tesla's AI team or whether Optimus's brain will be from Grok. That's an open question here. Which is going to be the brain of Optimus? Just checking to make sure we're streaming okay. Looks like we're streaming okay. So before we get to that, I just want to mention, make sure you vote all your shares of Tesla stock. Now, I have Tesla stock in, as you can see, multiple accounts. I have it in an SEP IRA, in an individual account, and I have multiple other accounts. And when I voted, I apparently only voted on those two, and I hadn't voted on the other accounts, which I'm pretty sure includes my Roth IRA. I'm not sure. I, I'd have to think about which accounts they are. I didn't figure out which the multiple accounts were, but when I figured it out, which is today, I went and you can see here it says vote and the other two say voted and say when I voted. So I thought I had voted all my shares. I hadn't. I went and checked. And so now I voted all my shares. Make sure you check your account and make sure you voted all your shares. And then I would encourage you, as you're voting, check Tesla Boomer Mama on X or Alexandra Merce. Her pinned post is her recommendations about how to vote your shares. I differ with her only on XAI. I probably would vote against voting on the XAI vote, but I abstain just because I don't feel that strongly about it. But I just think it's important. Please make sure you vote so that we can get Elon compensated. So the thing I want to talk about is Optimus's brain. Elon, this is back in June. Elon said Optimus V3 is going to be sublime, excellent, whatever. Somebody asked, is Optimus going to run a Grok voice assistant? Elon said already does. And a lot of people I'm hearing are saying, oh, Optimus's brain is going to be Grok. That's why people want Tesla to acquire XAI, because Grok is going to be the brain of Optimus and Grok is going to be the brain of the cars. And I think people are massively misunderstanding the role of Grok and Tesla AI in the bot and in the car. And so I want to address that. And a really good example of this argument, and look, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying my opinion. Hi, Oleg. And hi, Unexpected Fire. So Robert Scoble says Grok is its brain. There's this video that came out that I made a video about yesterday. About a part of my video yesterday was Optimus doing Kung Fu. And Robert Scoble says Grok is its brain. Grok is not its brain. Grok is not doing Kung Fu in the bot. He said, why invest in Tesla? Tesla investors should push Tesla invest in XAI. This moved up my timeline. No. Grok is not making the decisions, is not controlling Optimus in this video. And I said, Grok is not its brain. You're better than this, Robert. Robert and I have talked many times. I think he's a great guy. He's a flawed guy, like we all are. But I think there's some people who don't like him for various reasons. But I think he's a great guy. I think he's very interesting. And he insists, yes, it is, just watch. I'm like, well, it's very clearly not controlling Optimus doing Kung Fu. Tesla has an AI team that is setting Optimus up to control itself, just like Tesla's AI team has the cars control themselves. And the cars were driving themselves before Grok was in the cars. And my car doesn't drive itself, but there's no Grok in Thailand on the cars. Hello, Amy. So that I just think that's an important distinction. And Robert, this is my point here. Optimus and the cars need real-time, low latency decisions that Tesla AI is optimized for. Grok has much higher latency and has no need for millisecond level decisions. So people are talking about this, and Robert says Grok will be what you talk with. To me, that is like you. The nerves in your legs aren't you. I mean, he's got a point here. He does have a point here that the part of you that controls your body's movements is not particularly the interesting part of you for how humans interact with each other. The muscle memory, the doing the Kung Fu moves, whatever, is less intellectual and more muscle memory. My personal opinion, and I express it here in the conversation, is people are underestimating the Tesla AI team. They are underestimating how important it is to have really good real world AI make everything work. So we go on. He says, when the robot is in your house, you'll be talking to Grok. You don't get what is coming. Tesla team has plenty on its plate. It could duplicate effort, but that would be a big waste of resources, something I would never seen Elon do. So he's going to shut down the Tesla AI team and just let XAI's Grok team control everything? No. That's what XAI does, not Tesla. You need something that understands language running everything that is Grok, or rather an LLM built by XAI or newer. No, I completely disagree. First of all, Elon doesn't like to call them LLMs anymore. He calls them multimodal models because I guess we have to have another acronym. Yeah, the stock was up this morning when I looked. Stock was trading at 443. Mark says it's now trading at 441. So Tesla's up. Woo! It'll be down tomorrow. Who knows? It goes up, it goes down. I don't get excited about that stuff. I like seeing it when the stock is up, but the stock goes up, the stock goes down. Not a big deal. So I did a survey. What is the brain for Tesla Optimus? And 60% roughly said Tesla AI, 32% said Grok, and 10% said Joy Behar. I always try to include some sort of comedy third choice or fourth choice for these things. But I want to go through what I think is really going on here and why I think Robert is wrong and people who think this is different are wrong. So Tesla's AI focuses on low latency, real-time decision making for physical tasks, driving robotic movement, whether it's kung fu moves or picking up an object and moving the object from point A to point B. While Grok XAI excels at complex language processing and reasoning with second scale latency. If you use Grok and you ask Grok a question, how long does it take to answer your question? Depends. Are you using Grok Fast? Are you using Grok 4 Fast? Are you using Grok Expert? Are you using Grok, Heavy, whatever? But in general, in my experience using Grok or ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude's Anthropic's Claude, whichever LLM you use, it takes seconds to get a response and sometimes several seconds. How are we doing on the stream? Okay, I got a glitch. I saw a glitch there. I don't know. Am I glitching? Are you guys seeing me okay? Are you guys hearing me okay? I'm getting feedback from my app saying I've got problems. So tell me if you're having trouble seeing or hearing me in the chat, please. So there's a millisecond level latency, right? You don't want this kind of streaming issues, lags. If you want the bot to do something, hey, go pick up that object. You don't want 10 seconds while it thinks about which object you're talking about. Stream is fine. Thank you. Good morning, Mark. Paul says it is glitchy. I don't know. I'm seeing some glitches, but I don't know. So Tesla's AI role acts as the primary brain for Optimus, handling millisecond precision actions like navigation, manipulation using custom hardware. You think about it. What is Grok's purpose? What do you expect Grok to do in the next 5 years? We expect Grok to do physical tasks. I think Grok is going to do installing ground solar at scale. I think Grok is going to be working in warehouses, moving packages. I think Grok might be walking around secure facilities as a form of security guard, looking around, seeing what it sees, and relaying whatever it sees back to a central office. Grok is going to be doing physical tasks. Optimus is going to be doing physical tasks. Optimus is going to be moving boxes. If you want to have a conversation, an intellectual conversation with an LLM or a multimodal model, you'll probably do that on your phone. You're probably not doing that with Optimus. You might do it in your car while the car is driving you somewhere. I think there's this issue where people think that Optimus is going to be making higher level intellectual decisions, and I don't think that's the case. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why, because my app tells me I have an excellent connection. I don't understand why. Stream is healthy, stream is excellent. It's weird. All right, whatever. I'll just go on and assume that things are good. Show your hand if you sold at 418 yesterday. Somebody sold at 418 yesterday? Good God, no. So the way I see it is Tesla AI is the primary brain, just like you have a primary brain. And I use Grok, but Grok is not me. Grok is a tertiary layer that we use to access knowledge and help us make decisions that we aren't able to make. Oh, now I'm getting a warning. The stream's current bit rate is lower than the recommended. Okay, I don't know. And then I got stream is healthy again. I'm not sure what's glitching. Might be my Wi-Fi. So, you make decisions. You have sort of like a base level brain that controls your heartbeat, controls your breathing, autonomous systems. And then you have the secondary layer of your brain, which is intellectual thinking and making decisions on a small scale. And then, so when you were making really complicated decisions, you might call a friend, you might have a conversation with a consultant. Um, Brad owned Tesla stock. Um, you might uh, and you might consult with. I frequently consult with Grok, occasionally with Gemini and ChatGPT to help me make decisions or help me think about things I'm thinking about. Including this is the result of a conversation with Grok about this topic. So I think that on a day-to-day basis, Optimus is going to be making decisions based on Tesla AI, and it's possible that that the Optimus bot or the car will have. I think people think that you're going to be riding in a Tesla and you say, "Take me somewhere," and Grok is going to interpret that request and translate it to the car and make the decision for the car what to do. And I think it's possible that Grok will listen to queries, but you're going to have your phone. You're going to tell the car where to go on your phone. I don't think you're going to be using voice as the main interface with the car. And I don't know how they're planning on having humans interface with Optimus. Are they expecting humans to have conversations with Optimus, or will there be a phone app telling Optimus what to do? There's an interesting question. Good morning, Christopher from Belize. Oh, the stock is falling. Oh no, we were up to 443. We're down to 440. Oh no, panic. Can Grok time the Tesla market? I don't think that the LLMs are any better at investing than anybody else. And, that they're better than morons, but although sometimes morons do well. So Grok's role is like a tertiary layer, enhancing Optimus with conversational and high-level planning capabilities, interpreting complex voice commands. High-level planning capabilities. Right now, the car does high-level planning capabilities, and I think people are missing that. Right now, we're on the AI 4 chip and the hardware 3 chip, but we have AI 5 coming and AI 6 coming later. I think Elon's long-term plans for Optimus are running on the AI 6 hardware, which is much more sophisticated hardware than what's running the cars now. And then you're going to have much more training compute that is going to be training much more complex models that run Optimus and run the car, especially Optimus. I think probably by AI 5, you're going to, even on AI 4, you may have enough to drive the car safely, and AI 5 might drive it safer. But AI 6, my gut is AI 6 chips won't even go in the cars. You won't need them. The AI 5 chip is more than enough, and there are more valuable uses for the AI 6 chips than in the cars. That's an opinion. I'm not saying I'm correct. But once AI 5 drives 10x better than human or 20x better than human, then do you really want to waste the higher and more expensive chip carrying out tasks that are beneath its capability? I don't think so. So then you have this latency issue that this is a really important thing. Tesla's AI team has been engineering their AI, the hardware and the software, to make millisecond level latency decisions. If a child darts out in the road, you don't want the car to query Grok and say, "What should I do?" You want the car to react and stop before it hits the child, right? And so Tesla's AI team has been very, very focused on making millisecond level decisions, millisecond latency decisions, while gradually improving capability, but it still needs to have low latency. Low latency is a critical feature. The LLM teams, whether it's Grok or ChatGPT, they're not that focused on millisecond level latencies. They might want shorter latency. They might want to sit, responses in 2 seconds instead of 5 seconds, or 3 seconds instead of 10 seconds, but they're not really aiming for sub 1 second responses. It's not critical for what large language models, chatbot AIs do. So that, the vast majority of what Optimus does and what the car does are millisecond level latency decisions that need to be made. If the Optimus is walking through a factory and somebody runs in front of it, it has to make sure it doesn't hit that person. If it's picking up an object, as it's picking up the object might not move the way it thinks it's going to move, and it has to adapt quickly. And it can't say, "Hey, Grok, this isn't moving the way I thought it was. What do I do now?" It can't do that. So the latency issue, Tesla AI team engineering for low latency. The regular AI teams, the chatbot AI teams are not, and they're not focused on latency. It's not a critical issue for them, so it doesn't work. So Tesla prioritizes efficient end-to-end neural nets and real-world data loops over large parameter counts. I think there's still large parameter counts, right? There's a lot of data coming in, but it still has to make those decisions really fast. So now, I think we may be talking about a hybrid system. Experts advocate combining LLMs with planning with smaller, faster models for low latency execution in dynamic environments. So that's really what's going to be happening. I think the interesting question is there a role for Grok or some other LLM to respond to a query from the bot saying, hey, I'm doing this, I'm not sure what to do? And I could see where if you give give Optimus a task, hey, I want you to do this thing that it's never done before and it's never been trained to do, that it might query Grok and say, hey, my owner, whatever, they just asked me to do this thing that I've never done before. How would I do that? And maybe there's a role for Grok to explain those things. But I think people are just massively misunderstanding the extent to which the real world AI on the bot is going to understand the world. The goal is to develop an understanding of the real. See, the chatbot LLMs, the chatbot AIs, they don't really understand the real world in the same way that the Tesla AI team does. And that's really important for what the cars and the bots are doing. So you have to understand what's happening in the real world. So Tesla's AI team is building up this model of understanding the real world. And people think, well, it has to understand language. It will. It already does to some extent, and it will more. It will understand gestures. Like, think about that. Do the chatbot AIs understand gestures? Maybe. Which understands gestures better? Which understands facial expressions better? I think that we're going to see Tesla's AI team be better at most of these things than the Grok team. Murray says, hey, Warren, going to be in Phuket 16 to 24. You'll be around there then. No. I am going to the U.S., and I'm going to be in the U.S. for most of that. I will be back in Krabi, which is about a 2.5-hour drive from Phuket. I will be back in Krabi at the end of your stay. But not Phuket. I don't go to Phuket. I go to Phuket occasionally, but not very often. Mark says, whatever brain that it uses, it will work. Well, it's sort of an interesting question. Is it a hybrid where it's using Tesla AI most of the time, but Tesla AI itself queries Grok when it has a problem? Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe 10 years from now. I don't think that's a short-term thing. I'm sure the Tesla AI team has an answer for how they're integrating Grok, but as far as I know right now, Grok integrating in the car is just having the Grok app in your car. It's not controlling the car. You don't say to the Grok app, hey, tell the car to turn left here. That's not a feature that they've added, and I don't think they're going to add it. I don't think you want chatbot AIs that are known for hallucinating to start controlling your car or controlling your Optimus. Grok's strengths are built for intellectual challenges with large, think about what are they engineering Grok to do? They're engineering Grok to understand the universe. They are engineering it to create video games, to create macro hard, which is a, spin-off or making fun of Microsoft, but like writing real software. They do have real world, real goals for Grok to do real things that affect the real world. But I haven't seen any indication that anybody is working on have Grok make real-time, low-latency decision-making on an individual level basis. I'm not saying it won't happen, but I haven't seen it. It's ideal for non-time critical tasks like strategizing or answering queries. I know there's talk about agentic AI where you tell the AI, go get this stuff done for me. I want to go to Cancun, book a trip for me. It's not the same. I don't see agentic AI doing this. Okay. Thank you, Murray. Hardware evolution. So yeah, Tesla's AI 5 and AI 6, and it mentions Dojo. Grok got caught up on Dojo. I mean, think about this. Grok was talking about Dojo. Do you really want Grok making decisions when it thinks Dojo is still a thing? This is a conversation today. And Grok thinks that Dojo is still a thing when Dojo's dead. At least Dojo is dead within Tesla. I have a theory that Dojo is going to resurface in a startup. But Tesla AI 5 and 6 aim to enhance onboard inference, reducing reliance on cloud processing for Optimus in vehicles. So I don't think Optimus in the vehicles use cloud processing now. There's no cloud processing driving the car. There's no cloud processing controlling Optimus. The processing is made on board. Integration potential. Grok could interface with Tesla AI for user-friendly interactions, voice mode in vehicles, but real-time control remains Tesla's domain. And so Tesla's AI is like a nervous system for immediate survival, and Grok is a reflective advisor for long-term planning. Yeah, I don't see the role for Grok controlling the bot or controlling the car. I don't think that's the place for Grok. I can't say, if Grok becomes artificial superintelligence before Tesla's AI becomes real world superintelligence, maybe there's a role for it there. So I'm looking in the chat. I don't see, like Mark Plot says Neuralink with Grok integration. Yeah, I mean, if you have Neuralink and you have Grok on your Neuralink, do you want Grok making your decisions for you? I think the idea of the tertiary layer is nice. I don't think we want Grok controlling our bodies. Maybe I'm wrong. Can Grok time the Tesla market? All right, a lot of conversations. I just wanted to talk about this. I think this is an important topic for people to be aware of. That I think I think people like Robert Scoble. Robert was the one I was arguing with here. Robert says that Grok is the brain of Optimus. The Tesla AI team is creating the brain of Optimus. It's creating the brain of the cars. And I think this is a really, really important distinction. And I see a lot of people saying, no, Grok is going to be the brain of Tesla's cars and Tesla's robots, and that's why you need to vote for Tesla to acquire XAI or invest in XAI. And I think that's number one. They'll cooperate with XAI regardless. Elon's companies always cooperate with each other. So I don't see what the advantage of the investment, but the idea that Grok is going to be an essential feature of the bot, an essential feature of the car, that if Tesla had to, they couldn't go out and just use Gemini, some other chatbot AI if they had to. Of course they can. But XAI will work with Tesla, and they're already putting Grok in cars and putting Grok on the Optimus. So why does Tesla need to own stock in XAI if they're already working together? I just think this is a problem that's overstated. I want to remind people again, please make sure you vote all your shares in the Tesla shareholder meeting coming up. I made the mistake of voting some of my shares and didn't realize I hadn't voted all my shares. I went to my brokerage account. This is Fidelity. And I saw the mistake that I made in multiple accounts I hadn't voted yet, and I voted. So please make sure you vote all your Tesla stock. Check out Tesla Boomer Mama's pinned post on X to see her recommendations, which I mostly agree with, except for the XAI one. Okay, I just wanted to cover that. I want to thank everybody so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Wait, Robert says, I think Grok will be in the role of a coach or job foreman, so plans and operating procedures will be developed by Grok, and AI 6 will implement and respond and feedback to Grok. I don't think so. I think that, like, right now I use Grok and I ask Grok questions and Grok answers my questions. So I suppose if the Tesla AI software operating system of the bot has a question and it doesn't know who to ask, it could ask Grok. I don't know how that's going to happen. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm not saying there isn't some place for the AI to interact directly with the LLM, the multimodal model, the chatbot AI. Maybe there's a role for that somewhere down the road. I haven't heard anybody talking about how that's going to work that knows what they're talking about. Thanks everybody very much. Thank you, Mark and Amy, for voting. Thank you, Mark and Mark, for moderating the chat. I realize there probably wasn't a lot of moderating to do, but thank you. And be careful on Bangla Street. I'm not a huge fan of Phuket, by the way, just to be clear. I think that life in Phuket is busy, it's crowded. If you're going for the nightlife, there's problems in the nightlife. People experience problems in the nightlife. I don't recommend it. I don't do that stuff. But do what you want to do. Thanks everybody so much for watching. Bye-bye.